I think the last couple items I'd like to touch on, specifically with respect to agriculture, our nation is under attack economically. I'm sure everyone in here understands that to some extent. And the thing that I would love to change the most is to get rid of, to eliminate the income tax and the IRS. I don't know if anyone in here has heard of a system called the fair tax. Show of hands, anyone heard of the fair tax? The idea that you'd actually replace the IRS, the income tax, estate taxes, which are incredibly detrimental to agriculture, and capital gains taxes, replace that with a single national uniform sales tax collected by the states, remitted to the federal government. Stop the games, and when you do that, when you actually let people be rewarded for what they produce, then all of a sudden you're in a position where you can stop subsidizing. Because we end up with an economy that has this balance of destructive tax policy on this side, and you try to compensate for that with subsidies on the other side. It just becomes a big game for the Washington insiders and the lobbyists to play that ultimately hurts all of us. It hurts the American people. I also have some strong words to say about proposed food safety legislation that's coming through Congress. My opponent, David Price, voted for the Food Safety Modernization Act, which is now coming up into the Senate. Folks, we don't need the FDA to take control of our vegetable producers. And we've got 50 states, each with its own Department of Agriculture. It's not like we don't know what's coming, to our plate if it's coming from 10 miles down the road. What we do need the USDA and our government to worry about is what's coming across the border. We don't want to have tainted milk from China. We don't want to have vegetables that have been pested, with all kinds of crazy stuff on them from Central and South America. That's what our federal government should be doing, not policing our folks who are growing and trying to make a living right here. And the last thing I'd say, and this is maybe a little far off, but I'm just going to say this because this is an agricultural audience. Why is it, how did we ever get to the point where we decided that industrial hemp is illegal? We have crops, we have plants that the government in its infinite wisdom has said, you're not legally allowed to grow this. But our founding documents were actually written on hemp paper. It's a great food, fuel, and fiber crop. Why do we have these restrictions on saying, okay, this plant is illegal, while everything else we're going to regulate the heck out of? So just some basic things to think about, because I honestly believe that we, the American people, are smart enough to figure this out. And if we get the federal government to focus on what it should be doing, namely protecting our country and giving us a free trade zone within the 50 United States, we'd be a lot better off. Thank you very much for your time.